Chapter 9, boys and girls, Tattletales. I didn't believe for a minute that Mr. Granite was born in New Jersey. He was an alien from another planet, for sure. And even though we didn't have a picture of him peeling off his face, we decided there was one thing left to do. We had to tell Mr. Klutz. The next morning, we all met at school early to go to Mr. Klutz's office. When we got there, he was wearing one of those weird square hats we had to wear at graduation, and he was sticking his head out of the window. "Why are you sticking your head out the window?" Ryan asked. "Oh, excuse me," said Mr. Klutz, pulling off his head back inside. "I had to sharpen my pencil." "You have a pencil sharpener outside your window?" asked Michael. "No, I was gathering solar energy to power my pencil sharpener," said Mr. Klutz. "See, the cap has a solar panel on it. It's Mr. Granite's idea." Mr. Klutz showed us how to sharpen a pencil with a solar panel pencil sharpener. It was cool. "We wanted to talk to you about Mr. Granite," said Ryan. "I'm all ears," said Mr. Klutz. "You are not," I told him. "You have eyes and a nose and a mouth, too." "It would be weird to be all ears." "It's just an expression, dumbhead," said Andrea, rolling her eyes. "It means Mr. Klutz is listening." "I knew that," I lied. "Anyway, we think there's something weird about Mr. Granite." "Yes," I agreed, Mr. Klutz said. "I can't put my finger on it." "Why would you want to put your finger on it?" I asked. "Mr. Granite lives in a pod," Emily said. "And he has no nose hair," said Michael. "Mr. Klutz," Andrea said, "we suspect that Mr. Granite is from another planet." Said Mr. Klutz. "It's funny you should mention that. The other day, I saw a flying saucer in the teacher's lounge." "What?" we all shouted. "You did?" "Yes," said Mr. Klutz. "The teachers were throwing their teacups around again. I'll have to make another announcement about that." "If Mr. Granite is an alien, will you fire him?" asked Emily. "Or attack him with laser beams?" asked Ryan. Said Mr. Klutz. "This has never come up before. I'm not sure aliens from another planet are allowed to teach third grade. I'll have to check with the Board of Education rules." "I'm Board of Education," I said. "In the meantime," said Mr. Klutz, "let's keep our eyes peeled." "That will probably hurt," I told him. "Can we just teach Mr. Granite and can we just watch Mr. Granite instead?" "Okay, let's do that," he said. "I want to know everything about him. I want to know what makes him tick." "Mr. Granite ticks?" I asked. "Maybe there's a clock inside him, like the crocodile in Peter Pan." "Maybe there's a bomb inside of him," Ryan said. "Mr. Granite swallowed a bomb?" asked Emily. "We've got to do something." "Run for your lives!" shouted Neil, the new kid, and we all went running out of Mr. Klutz's office. Number 10, the truth about Mr. Granite. As it turned out, Mr. Granite didn't have a clock or a bomb inside him. I didn't even hear him tick. That day was a perfect normal day, or as normal as it can be when your teacher is from another planet. When the 3:00 bell rang, Mr. Klutz made an announcement over the intercom. "Have a great weekend, everybody," he said. "Next week, we'll find out if elementary school is the greenest school in the county. I can almost taste the chocolate cake now. Oh, and teachers, please stop throwing teacups around the teacher's lounge. Thank you." Me, Michael, and Ryan rode our bikes home. We were pretty tired, but we had been riding our bikes all day in class. That's when I got the greatest idea in the history of the world. "Hey," I told the guys, I know how we can make our school the greenest school in the county." "How?" they asked. "Let's paint it green." "AJ," Ryan said, "you're a genius." "That's why I'm in the gifted and talented program," I said modestly. Everybody agreed that I should get the Nobel Prize. That night after dinner, I told my mom there was a bingo game at school. Michael and Ryan made up other excuses. Michael brought a bucket of green paint he found in his basement. Ryan brought some paintbrushes, and we rode our bikes and met at school. Okay, I told the guys, let's start by painting the front door. Michael opened the paint can. Ryan gave me a brush. I was about to dip the brush into the paint when the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. A guy jumped out from behind the bushes. "Freeze, dirtbag!" he shouted. "Ah!" It was Officer Spence, the school's security guard. He's supposed to protect the school from bad guys and criminals, not from us. "Let's get out of here," shouted Michael. We hopped on our bikes and pedaled as fast as we could down the street. I never even turned around to see if Officer Spence was chasing us. "Phew, that was a close one," Ryan said, and we were a few blocks away from school. "I don't think Officer Spence saw our faces," said Michael. "Let's go home," I said. Just as we were about to turn the corner, I realized something. That was Mr. Granite's street. "Let's go over to Mr. Granite's house," I suggested. Maybe we can catch him taking his face off." We pedaled over to Mr. Granite's house. It was easy to find because of the giant pod thing on the grass. There was a light on inside the garage. We parked our bikes across the street, tiptoed over to the garage like secret agents. It was cool. "Shh," Ryan whispered. Nobody screamed if he peels off his face. We peeked between the cracks in the garage door. "Do you see anything?" Michael whispered. "Look," Ryan whispered back. "Mr. Granite's in there." "Yeah, over on the left," I whispered. "What's he doing?" Ryan said. "He's building something," Michael said. "And you'll never believe in 1,100,000 years of what we saw Mr. Granite building in there. I'm not going to tell you." Okay, I'll tell you. But you have to read the next chapter to find out, so nanny boo-boo on you. Chapter 11. My teacher is an alien. Mr. Granite was building a spaceship. It was red and black and silver, and it looked just like the spaceships you see in the movies. It was cool. Andrea was right, I whispered. Mr. Granite is from another... But I never got a chance to finish my sentence, because at that very moment, the garage door started going up, and Mr. Granite, the alien, was standing there looking right at us. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. "Freeze, dirtbag," I yelled. "You're an alien and we know it." Mr. Granite put his hands in the air, and then he realized he didn't have a gun or anything, so he put them down. "Yes, I admit it," he said sadly. "Not from New Jersey. From the planet Ittengar in a galaxy far away." "Wow," we all said, which is Mom upside down. "Ittengar," he said. "Isn't that Granite spelled backwards?" "Yes," Mr. Granite said. "Everybody in Ittengar is named Granite." "Doesn't it make things confusing when everybody has the same name?" asked Ryan. "It does," Mr. Granite said. "I was sent to Earth to help you stop global warming and to come back with some new names for our people. Now my work here is done. I must return to Ittinger. My spaceship is finished. I just need some rocket fuel so I can blast off." "Wait a minute," Michael said. "How do we know you're not yanking our chain? Prove you're an alien." "Yeah," I said. "Let's see you peel off your face." "Well, okay," Mr. Granite said. As he put his hand under his chin, I covered my eyes with my hands. I wanted to see Mr. Granite peel his face off, but at the same time, I didn't want to see what was underneath. What if it was scary? So I covered my eyes, but I opened my fingers so I could look between them. Mr. Granite pulled at his neck, and the skin started to come loose. Then he peeled off his entire face, and you'll never believe in 1,100,000 years what he looked like underneath. He looked exactly the same. "Hey," Ryan said, "that face looks just like the other one you peeled off." "It never hurts to have an extra face," said Mr. Granite. Even though Mr. Granite's peeled off face looked the same as his regular face, it was still cool. "Don't tell Mr. Klutz," Mr. Granite said. "Our lips are sealed," I told him, "but not with glue. That would be weird.